from Sydney, Australia. This is Irfan Malik here, CEO of InQ Innovation Global. Sending my regards to all from joining from India and all over wherever you are. We'll just wait for another few more minutes as we wait for some more of the attendees to log in. Thank you again for taking your time on a Sunday to join on board. But yeah, we should kickstart the session very soon. Thank you. So we'll wait for another minute and we'll kick it off. I expect this session to go for about half an hour from a briefing perspective to set the context and give you some examples of what we are looking for, some of the intricacies of the challenges, how we are looking to resolve as well. So it could last for about half an hour, and then we'll open the session to ask questions for about 15 to 20 minutes. So we're hoping we'll wrap it up by within an hour, but we'll just play it by the ear as we go. Any questions, since it's a Zoom webinar, we can't see you, but we can obviously definitely see your activities and your questions that you raise. So please use the Q&A channel that you can see on your panel to post question. I'm supported by Samkit, Kaushik, and Rohit from Incubate Ind, who will then be able to share. I will also have a look at the Q&A session or the channel and see some of those questions, and we'll try and answer as many we can within the time frame we have. But also anything that we need to follow through, we'll follow through as well. And there are certain announcements also that we want to share in terms of this hackathon, so which is something I'll cover as well. So you've just hit the 100 plus participation, so which is good to kick off now. So on that note, again, I welcome you all on board for this briefing session for the ReHack ReHack hackathon program that we are planning later this month. Now, we've had amazing response so far, and I commend all of you who have taken the initiative to come on board and register yourself, and also express your interest to come on board and with your team, and also recognize the support from Incubate Ind team. The whole team have been really working hard to really showcase this offering and the outcomes that we are looking to achieve. As we've been building this program, we've had a lot of interest and a lot of program partners, both in Australia and India, who have come on board, are keen to not only create awareness and generate the level of interest, but also contribute to helping accelerate some of the outcomes that we hope to deliver, and also accelerate the growth of these ideas, or these startups, in accelerating those ideas to even implementation, as well as market realization, as well, more into commercialization and scaling as well. So something which we are hoping that part of this program will have different ideas and startups at different stages that we'll be able to curate, or there are startups who have an idea, but they can pivot or respond to the challenge or the themes that we are looking at. So on that note, again, thank you for taking time on a Sunday afternoon and coming on board this session. The session is all about to give you a bit of an overview, a briefing of the themes that we have chosen as part of this Australia-India Innovation Bridge ReHack, and also to delve a bit more into some of the nuances, some of the deep insights of some of the challenges that we've experienced, and where this whole theme is stemming out. So to give you a bit of a context again, with the Australia-India Innovation Bridge, we are keen to definitely make sure that we get the right support from all the ecosystem partners, and that we are looking to definitely work with our partners in achieving the outcome that we are after. Now, this session is also going to be recorded, and it's also going to be live streamed on our Facebook pages as well. So in case you miss out on this, or if you want to share with any of your colleagues or potential team members, please feel free to do so. And we will obviously have our team to support any questions beyond the session as well. And also, as I indicated, we are looking to definitely organize further sessions as well in this regard, and also potentially have certain workshops as well, which will be again optional for various participants as well, to pick and choose if they want to take up those workshops as well. This would again look at introducing some of the tools that we will be looking at, some of the tools and some of the methodology that we'll be looking at as part of this session. So to kickstart the things, I want to, obviously I'll share the screen in a tick to introduce our theme, but most importantly, to set the context why we are doing this. Now, this whole hackathon is part of a series of program and initiatives that we are driving between the Australia and India startup ecosystem. And we are partnering into Innovation Global, which is headquartered here at the Sydney Startup Hub in Sydney, Australia. We're partnering with our local teams, our ecosystem partners in India, and our prime partner being THub Hyderabad. And we are also working with Incubate Ind as our hackathon partner and ecosystem partner. There are other ecosystem partners who are also coming on board who will help shape this program. Now, we've had a series of webinars that we've been connecting both ecosystems, which we believe there's a lot to create traction on. And we've covered a webinar series with the ecosystem capacity builders, the CEOs of various incubator accelerators, both Gov and Gov supported or private incubator accelerators. We've also covered the influencers, the impact creators, the actual EIRs, entrepreneurs in residences, as well as mentors between the ecosystem. And last week we had the investors between the ecosystems connect as well. We want to obviously get the founders connect between both ecosystems to look at synergies and also to understand the nuances of what these ecosystems will present for each other. Now, and this hackathon is again part of that series where we are looking at delivering an outcome, and we've got certain challenges and themes that we have come up between the ecosystem, which we really want to curate and seek support from a broader ecosystem in play between Australia and India, and also globally as well, who can support this bridge program here. Now, we also will continue this webinar series focusing on emerging techs as well, and deep tech, including AI, ML, blockchain, cybersecurity, IoT, drone-based technology. We are also looking at Industry 4.0, all other deep tech opportunities as well. What we want to do with the hackathon is to obviously bring various industry sector or themes, but also blend in that with emerging technology as well, embedded. So technology being an enabler to solve some of these industry challenges or themes that we have come up with. So that's kind of to set the context. The second context I want to set up is, why are we doing this between Australia and India? Why is Australia a great ecosystem for Indian startups, and why is India a great ecosystem for Australian startups? And that's where our key theme is, and we want to fast track, we want to accelerate, and we want to facilitate these ecosystems to connect. We believe that for Indian startups, Australia is a great ecosystem, a great soft landing market to validate your idea, validate from a customer validation perspective, from a market validation perspective, and then investor validation perspective as well, before you think about scaling to the US or European market. And if you are well established and validated, it's very well perceived and received, even in Middle East for that matter, or Europe. If you have a presence and you have validated your solution, it is very well received, because there's definitely a lot of profile and quality consciousness, and across all the ecosystem layers, you will get that support as well. So I believe it's a great opportunity for Indian startups to look at Australia actively in various capacities, if it's market growth or even collaborative opportunities or JV opportunities, or even supporting the Australian startup ecosystem, whether it's with the development, with modularized development, or even manufacturing, or whatever it is, advanced manufacturing capabilities, building design of electronics or your circuitry, to all those capabilities India can provide, and really champion the making India for the world opportunity for the Australian startup ecosystem. And that is a good segue that Australian startup ecosystem has a lot to benefit from India as a market, not only as a great market, obviously a great digitally savvy, technology oriented and adopted country and a market to tap into, but also a great segue and launch pad before they scale into Middle East or Europe, or for that matter, US as well. And just based on our experience running the market access program for various Australian startups to be launched into India and Middle East, as well as Indian startups to be launched into Australia, we've seen this scaling really helps them accelerate their valuation growth, the company growth, and also with global investors, they have opportunity and access to create double the impact. So that's, again, great for Australian startups to look at collaboration, JV partners, or even market access dev partners as well in India. So that's something which we are keen to facilitate. So that's the second context why Australia is great for Indian startups or Indian startup ideas, and why India is a great market and nation for Australian startups. The third context is, there's been never a better time than now for closer collaboration between Australia and India. About a couple of years back, Australia had initiated a bit of a review and research of what is happening with Indian market growth, and how does Australia kind of work with India in terms of establishing and growing the business and trade ties. Now, based on that, there was a very amazing report, which what we will do is we will share that into the resources section of this ReHack portal or the website. We will share a set of resources, which is good to know about the landscape as well. What are the sectors? What are the areas that we believe is going to be phenomenal growth, and where Australians are looking to work and increase their trade and investment. So this whole report called India Economic Strategy Outlook 2035, looking at 15 years ahead, how should we work with India as a strategic partner? Now, this was something similarly Australia did with China about 15, 20 years back. So what globally, as it is recognized, and all as Australia recognizes that India is the most happening and the most vibrant strategic partner. And there are geopolitical dynamics as well, aligned thinking, aligned cultural traits, and there's a stronger camaraderie being built between Australia and India at various levels, at senior level as well. So earlier in June, the first week of June, we had both the honorable prime ministers of Australia and India connect on a virtual summit as well, really strengthening the ties and strengthening and declaring the need for both the countries to be working together closely across various sectors. So very well established sectors to areas where both countries need mutual assistance as well. There are quite a few outcomes and focus areas that's been made in the joint statement that's been released. And there are certain segments which we have also covered in our theme, which are like glowing opportunities for everyone to tap into. So that's another thing which we will share, and it underpins some of the themes that we have showcased. So it's important to understand that context as well. So there's never been such a heightened awareness, level of interest, and level of interest to work and make it happen. I mean, I was in discussion with Startup India, Invest India. They're setting up dedicated desks for Australia, and also really activating. And in fact, the theme was, now is the time to act and deliver action. So there's been a heightened awareness even the last 2-3 months, and even last 2 months. There's been so many activities, and even the investors between the ecosystems are looking at each other, from an investment portfolio perspective as well. So the key message there is there's been never a greater time than now for the startup ecosystem to really look at this Australia-India, this corridor and opportunities that present. I mean, there are other opportunities which we will be embarking on down the line, but for the purpose of this ReHack, which was again set during this tough times that all of us globally are going through. Most of us are, confined to our homes, working from home, still keeping our heads above water and trying to do the best that we can. And also digitally, we have seen stronger connect than physically that we would have ever imagined. I mean, I was there in India as part of a Australian high-level trade ministers delegation, Australia-India Business Council, Business Exchange, also representing Australia-India Business Council, where I'm the national chair for startup and innovation. We visited about 7 cities in India, and we were sparking off the whole Australia Market Access Program, and also we were sparking off what opportunities are there. In fact, I'm glad to announce that we have, even during this tough times, we have helped both these ecosystems to launch some of these startups into respective markets. But there was a huge momentum that we had created. Unfortunately, obviously, March and April, it was a bit of a quiet time. All of us were trying to figure out, what is going on and what we need to do to really get ourselves, to look at the opportunities and how we can even pivot or survive ourselves. So we were obviously looking to see how are we going to deal with this whole situation. Obviously, the focus was to make yourselves, staying safe, recover, and also essentially reassess, how you're going to deal with things. And also what panned out from that was essentially during those periods, March, April, and May, there were a lot of challenges came up, we all experienced, and some of us more than others, not only dealing with the startups and the challenges, the delays, investments, but also from an, just pure play, keeping the nation running, keeping the markets running, keeping the industries running, keeping the supplies running, keeping the education running, keeping the communication channels going on. We faced a lot of challenges, and this was unprecedented. I mean, this is something no one would have thought. I mean, we've all experienced, previous instances of various viruses, SARS to MERS to Nipah, and quite a few we've had, but nothing to this scale, which could bring down entire global, financial ecosystem, markets, industries, healthcare, governments, all of them, to really be challenged and rethink and, cope with the situation first, and then, deal with how to improve or improvise to achieve outcomes for the community and the broader residents and citizens of respective countries as well. And during this also, a lot of dynamics, really emerged in terms of countries or states and, different industries, how they were challenged as well. So that's kind of what really got us together. So all the four things, obviously, right from increased interest between Australia and India, the Prime Minister's virtual summit, and also, the increased level of interaction that's seen, and then this whole COVID impact, which highlighted that both the regions, both the ecosystems were challenged. And I think they should look up to each other and see how we can support and also come up with some great ideas which can be fast-tracked, not only to really address the situation on hand. We are not out of it. I know India is going through a surge. And again, there's a cautious approach. Whilst there have been some good instances of, where we've been able to control or at least to minimize impact. And I really admire and a testament to both the governments and the healthcare system that are working in tandem to keep a balance of the economy as well as the healthcare and the safety of residents and citizens. While that's all happening, we are not over that dire situation. In fact, in Australia, in Melbourne and Victoria, we're going through the second wave, and second wave has been more drastic and dramatic because in certain cases we don't know the causes as well, or the tracing has not been able to justify where the source has been of this transmission. So we are going through that challenging situation. We are also experiencing a cautious approach in other states as well. So both India and Australia, whilst we've had some good outcomes delivered or achieved, but we are not over the situation completely. So obviously, whatever comes out of this hackathon, we will be looking to fast track and accelerate so we can achieve some of the outcomes during this impactful time itself. And no one knows. It might be a month, 2 months, 3 months. You never know how long this is going to last. So we definitely want to help fast track some of these ideas and also look at potentially, accelerate, especially some of those mature ideas which can be implemented. We'll be looking at even, activating and accelerating commercialization or market access to be launching these ideas into these markets as well. So that's kind of the context of why we are doing this. And we are pleased to work with our partners here in Australia as well as India to be able to achieve. And I'm looking forward to some great ideas being shared by you all, and which we can then filter through depending on the stage and maturity and alignment to these themes in delivering outcomes. And then essentially help fast track as well. So just I'm doing a quick time check. What I will do is I'll just delve into the themes. And anytime if you have questions, please post your questions on the Q&A. Now I want to come back once I introduce the theme. I want to make some announcements as well. And in terms of this hackathon and the dates that we are planning. we've had increased demand and interest and a lot of requests from both the ecosystem, especially from Australia and some parts of India who have been impacted quite a bit. They have a SOT extension. So we'll make some announcement to that effect as well very shortly. So let me share my screen and delve into the hackathon themes. And we'll come back to the first part of the dates and the lead up in a short moment. So essentially, the problem statement areas and themes that we have identified, we've classified into 5 broader general themes. And all of these, we have experienced challenges. We have experienced impacts, both in Australia and India, and globally for that matter. So all these are, whilst we are positioning this under Australia, India, because we are really promoting startup ideas from both these ecosystems to be fast-tracked as part of our market access and our bridge program. But more so, all these are applicable globally. So we'll be looking at creating global pathways as well, not only between Australia and India, but also global pathways. So rightly so, with this COVID time, we've had challenges with our healthcare services, supplies, medtechs. You know it, from PPE, people, their lifestyle is all changing. The way, the healthcare services are being offered. You've got zones of healthcare services, hospitals being demarcated for COVID purposes, non-COVID, elective surgery or elective, healthcare services perspective. There are challenges in terms of equipments. We all heard about what was going on globally, and of course in India as well. Challenges to get hold of, ventilators or support equipments. Even we had challenges around screening, testing, all those kinds of challenges. And the supplies were challenged as well. So obviously we did see that there are certain countries who came out of this or seem to have come out of COVID situation earlier, and we were all looking up to them for supplies because the other countries were challenged. We don't want to be having that kind of situation. We want to have global healthcare, medical supplies globally distributed. And we also had challenges which is more relevant to the second part around supply chain improvements. We had major, product hoarding and price gouging. All those things were happening. So the needy healthcare systems were not having access to, essential services or even medical tech equipments and supplies. So how do we improve that, med tech and healthcare services, essential services supplies globally, of course, between Australia and India, whether all those key, equipments, right from, testing equipments to screening equipments to tracing equipments to healthcare, primary healthcare services, even the tracing of people impacted. I know, in Kerala, we hosted the Kerala health minister on one of the session, and the Honorable Health Minister, she shared some great insights and how they coped initially, how they did the contact tracing, how they went to the grassroots primary healthcare center level, and volunteers who came into play as well, which really helped their healthcare services, which was stretched, and to be able to deliver those kinds of outcomes initially. Now I know that with the expats returning and overseas migrants returning, the challenge is increased, and the community spread is increased, and where it creates challenges. So when there is a community spread, how do we really get a system created where, just like we had, the tsunami, system, which gets activated. We were all impacted in 2005, I believe, and since then the tsunami impact system or notification and alarm system has been really strengthened, where all the Indian Ocean and various Pacific region, all of them are notified when there is an earthquake or a potential tsunami, and it's a lot of things are really quite well entrenched between the ecosystems as well. So when there is an a viral impact or a epidemiology impact, how do the healthcare systems? It's not just we are relying on certain groups or countries or organizations like World Health Organization to be notifying people. We want the healthcare service systems through blockchain, through AI. We can preempt some of these patterns of what's happening, and how can a system, a transparent system, a credible system, whether it's through blockchain or AI, what can be enabled. I'm throwing these emerging tech there because I believe in these technologies and the value they can offer. I'm just sparking off some ideas there. But ultimately, how can we keep the healthcare services right from preemptive measures to the diagnostic measures, the screening measures, to traceability measures, to then also administering various levels of healthcare services? All those measures can be improved at a global level in a connected way, so that we are not relying on one, it's not like gone are the days that we want to have sign-off files being passed from one country to another country or one desk to another. We want technology to be able to, deliver that capability, those essential health services. We're not talking about elective surgery. We're talking about life and death situation kind of a impact or viral impact that we are trying to do, and where critical action at the right time is important. And that's where digital technology and these emerging tech, deep tech, have a great role to play. Of course, on the supply side as well, there's been shortages world over. How can we build a bit of a resilience as well in that space? How can we build resilience of medtech? And again, I'm a believer that in 80-20 rule, we don't want to be having too much supplies, which it's all just sitting in the warehouse and not being utilized, and then just goes through the warranty. Of course, we don't want that kind of a situation. At the same time, there is a trade-off and balance which is required, where we do have enough supplies, and there is a pipeline, there's a production line that can be activated, whether it's advanced manufacturing, industry 4.0 capability, to really enable these essential supplies that's required, and what kind of improvement can be brought about. Now, we've all heard about frugal innovation from India. We've all heard about those jugaad innovation. So this is not about that only. Of course, jugaad and frugal from a simplicity perspective, and the actual rate at which we can bring something together. However, we are looking at a global play here. So where jugaad and the frugal part could be, the initial enabler for us to, do an MVP or validate. But we are looking at a globally well-designed with great user experience kind of a service as well as supply or equipment here. So definitely, we are looking for something which we'll be happy to launch, as a premium product or as a product with right quality and design and user experience, not only Australia, but also then globally as well. So that's something which I want to really focus on. Whatever comes out of this, we have a strong focus on real human-centered design. Very much, it has to be fit for purpose. It's not that we are creating a technology or a product and then finding a solution. It needs to really be fit for purpose for the need as well. Now, I know there have been some Q&As and hands being raised. If I can seek some patience there, I'll just go through these themes quickly, and then I'll take up those questions and definitely try and respond to people who have raised their hand as well. So that's kind of the theme around the healthcare services, supplies, medtech. We were all experienced. I was trying to help a lot of states in India, states here in Australia as well, procure from PPE to essential equipments, all just because we had the network and we wanted to really help some of the startups who are involved in that as well, to obviously enable them to supply, and where there were challenges in providing e-health or remote healthcare services. We really wanted to support and fast track, and we were looking for where the challenges are, where the opportunity is, and also where we could match these startups as well. So definitely this is something we experienced, but we would love to be in a better position that where we are currently, and also preparing for anything down the line like this. So that's the healthcare services and supplies medtech's theme that we are looking for, right from software solutions and e-healthcare, alerting, right from things that I said, right from preemption to real diagnosis, to really tracking, tracing, and then the early stage of administering and post acute health care service and support, but also how we connect with the broader ecosystem, the community, the volunteers. Especially we saw with aged care segment have been really impacted. And I mean, I'm not saying that young community is not impacted, but aged care have been severely impacted. And I came to know about terminology from the Kerala Health Minister, Honorable Health Minister there. She spoke about reverse quarantine. All these were great ideas, and how we then enable that to get the right outcome through digital technologies and emerging tech is what we are looking for as part of this hackathon. Moving on to the second theme, supply chain improvements and removing bottlenecks. So you would have heard there was so much of challenges to procure. We were looking for suppliers. We were looking for suppliers who could do this and that. I know we've got eBay, Amazon, India Mart and stuff. That's a different kind of a level of e-commerce and supply chain procurement. But here we needed trusted sources of suppliers, manufacturers, and distributors, and of course we needed the right people. And we have seen during this pandemic some of the top brands, some of the top products which were of high demand. We had so many challenges, right from unscrupulous suppliers, so-called manufacturers compromising on the quality, branding, a lot of duplicate stuff, a lot of bottlenecks in terms of delivery, challenges, what was promised within a few days of delivery. It's all mission critical, it's life and death, and people have planned, we need this in a day, it means we need it in a day. If it required in a week, people plan that it needs to be delivered in 1 week, where there were unprecedented challenges. So obviously there were impacts of flights and things, but how do we really optimize that whole logistics, the whole supply chain network, using blockchain or AI or any other technology to really smoothen and streamline the supply chain logistic pathways? What can be turned on where there is a pre-vetted or pre-approved set of suppliers, where there could be a online marketplace that's activated, but it's vetted in a way that all the suppliers we know that they are who they are and what they claim to be, as well as what their delivery capabilities are. They've got the right distribution logistic channels as well, where the end buyers are the facilitators, the government, the agencies involved, the healthcare groups are able to access and also leverage as well. So it kind of really sticks in along with the healthcare services, but more oriented around supply chain improvements. How can we, there were challenges where even the air freight companies, shipping was all impacted quite a bit, but air freight companies were really challenging in terms of the rates. There was a major supply demand issue as well for transport logistics. And there was a lot of bottlenecks. Every country had issued certain restrictions of what can be exported, what can't be exported. But obviously, since there are these relationships established for supplier distributor partners, imposing a hard, there could be some thresholds that could be done, but imposing a hard stop or bottlenecks would be challenging for other countries who are expecting. So how do we balance that out? How do we de-risk? How do we streamline that whole supply chain, supplier buyer engagement relationship and delivery capability, and improve the consistency of delivery timelines and also authenticity of these products. I know there were a lot of audit inspection companies who were engaged, like SGS and others as well. But there was a clear shortage of those services. And of course, people were challenged because of COVID. So there were restrictions of who could do, who couldn't do. So how can we enable some of these using technology and deep tech to improve the supply chain outcomes? That's something which we are looking for. The third part is global payments, fast tracking payments, and regulatory tech. I mean, this period has been quite challenging for a lot of organizations, a lot of governments, a lot of suppliers and distributors, buyers as well. A lot of fraudulent payments have happened. A lot of payments have gone through, but the delivery of the goods have not happened. I know there's been escrows, there have been line of credit mechanisms tried by banks, which have been very tedious, very time consuming. It's mission critical. We want to activate something pretty quickly, where there are trusted ways of payments internationally that's enabled. It's enabled, whether it's blockchain or whatever. I'm not saying it's cryptocurrency, but there is a measure or mechanism to really have a transparent, credible, secure, trusted modes of fast-track payments internationally. And even if it's to be activated through certain channels during such situations, and what kind of RegTech, what kind of regulatory measures can be put in, what kind of checks and balances can be digitally introduced as well to ensure the payments are secure, payments are validated and controlled as well, and linked to delivery of goods, stage gated, but not it shouldn't be delayed. At the same time, while we are trying to deliver outcome, you want both the suppliers to be paid in time if they've done the right thing, delivered the right product as per their contract and agreement. We want a fast track payment. So similarly, we want to support and safeguard the payments of the buyers where they're going out of the way, they're challenged by their demand, their community, their requirements, but yeah, they are challenged by the lack of trust on whether I can make this payment. I mean, and a lot of payments were advanced payments, which is how this industry works as well. And when there is a supply and demand, obviously, payments come into play. People, early days of March, April, we were seeing 100% upfront payment, and there have been a lot of challenges that still people are dealing with it. And we've not seen anything. It's been unprecedented. We've not seen anything like this nature. So definitely payment solutions which delivers fast-track, trusted, secure, credible, transparent, and payments that will ensure that both parties are protected, and there are regulatory tech measures which will also give that confidence and measures that will give various suppliers, buyers part of the supply chain ecosystem to really leverage as well. That's what we're looking for. Global communication and training, which is another part. I mean, obviously, whilst all these challenges were happening, we had the education system being really impacted, the training ecosystem being majorly impacted. Communication, I'm happy that it definitely the digital communication really picked up, and in fact, we've had stronger connected digital communication than ever before. We've had some of the largest acquisition and deals done on Zoom, which is like phenomenal. So obviously, the communication has improved. However, we want more resilient communication. We want more, as I said, trusted, safe, transparent, but also secure communication channels and capabilities of delivering education, flexible education. We don't want to jeopardize all these educational institutions or a large ecosystems that's there in the education landscape. However, how do we enrich, how do we augment their capability, whether it is emerging tech, AR, VR, or mixed reality, immersive education, across various sectors, or even avenues where we can look at delivering a flexible, modularized education, but again, warranting or adding towards, aggregating towards various certification stuff. How do we improve the whole ecosystem and provide some great edtech capabilities as well, looking at the challenges. The fifth one, the last one in our theme, but not the least, which kind of covers all the other aspects as well, anything digital. We've seen more cybersecurity impact and breaches the last 3 to 5 months than ever before. Not only because of the geopolitical challenges, the geopolitical dynamics emerging, but also the increased use of digital technology, increased adoption, increased immersion of digital technology poses that risk. Right from creating awareness. I know most of us have got some kind of a virus security scan on your machines and laptops. But as an organization, as communities, we are definitely not there with awareness of the level of impact that cybersecurity breaches can create. Not only branding damages, but also for government exposures, defense exposures, security and healthcare being one critical system, communication, transport being, and financial payments being, various strong, important pillars of any economy or any economy or any government or any communities as their state of play. It's very critical and essential. And what kind of cybersecurity measures can be put in place? One, to create awareness. That's a critical part we are missing. We lack of. A lot of people just see that, oh, this is not for me. I believe everyone everyone has got multiple devices these days. All of them, multi-device security, creating an awareness, but also something which is a bit more seamless. It's seamless and something which you can leverage easily, and improving adoption and access, which is important. So not only great products, but also products which has got a great user experience to onboard, to connect and just get on with it. And with various models of premium model or pay-per-use or fee-for-service, whatever it is. But yeah, something which really streamlines the adoption and the access of cybersecurity measures. So that's something which I want to touch on, and definitely, we've got a strong group of mentors and advisors globally, definitely from Australia and India, who will be part of this ecosystem. There are a lot more who will come during that phase. And obviously, there'll be a great judging panel as well. I'm pleased to be part of the panel, but also we are expecting quite a few people, more impactful judges to come on board who already have acknowledged, and we will be updating the website. Now, on this note, I would also want to make that announcement so that I can take any questions. And please feel free to reach out to Samkit or Kaushik, whose details are on there on WhatsApp or at support@incubatein.com at any time. And obviously, we'll share our Innovation emails as well if you need to reach out. But again, as I indicated, there's been a phenomenal level of interest, and we've had some communities and states who've been challenged, especially in Australia, the recent past, but also in India. And some of our ecosystem partners have also requested that we move the actual hackathon, the actual dates of hackathon by 2 weeks. So essentially, we are looking at the dates of 21st and 22nd of August at this stage. We didn't want to do it on the Independence Day weekend. Obviously, everyone has got plans, and also we want to respect, our folks in India, and we all celebrate Independence Day together. So definitely, we were looking at the earliest next opportunity, and we have looked at the 21st and 22nd of August, where we will have the actual hackathon event over those 2 days. We'll have a detailed plan. What we've also curated is some great sessions as well during that hackathon period, right from human-centered design to new models of thinking as well, taking some clues and cues and insights from these tough times that we've experienced, some of the wins, some of the positives that we have seen. We've actually, we would like to share and really inject into that hackathon session as well. But also what it gives is over the next 2 weeks, it'll also help some of the ecosystem to really activate and actively participate and engage with us on this ReHack, which is shaping to be very amazing and very outcome oriented and impactful as well. So something which I look for support from all of you, and I also hope that this wouldn't, and we apologize for any inconvenience there, but I look forward to really having you all on board for this session. What also will happen over the next 2 weeks is we'll have further sessions. I've done this as an overview briefing session. I hope I've given a comprehensive picture, but during this period, we will also be able to take any more questions as well. So obviously you will have the registrations open while it says it's closed. We will make an announcement and update as well. We will have the registrations open for a further period as well, and you'll be notified about the period. Definitely there will be reasonable more time, at least a week plus. You will have the registration open. And with this context that I've set, maybe you may want to rethink as well, or rewire yourself, or refine your thinking as well. There's an opportunity, and we'll definitely accept you guys to edit and resubmit or update your submissions as well. But again, I look forward to really working with all of the ecosystem partners and really encourage you guys, to shape some great ideas that we are looking forward to out of this ReHack hackathon. So on that note, I will stop sharing my screen and essentially move over to take some questions as well. Let me check it. Yeah, there's been a very less question. I presume I've been impressive to give this the right picture, or obviously you guys are still thinking through. We are, definitely happy to hang around for at least another 10 minutes or so. We've got the recording of this webinar online. It's been live streamed, and all the videos will also be shared by the team. Please feel free to reach to Samkit and Kaushik. And yeah, their WhatsApp number and numbers have been given. The question is will there be any shortlisting before the final hackathon? Yes. So yes, there will be shortlisting. And we've received quite a lot of registration, over 200 plus. But definitely we will be shortlisting, and you will be notified of those dates as well. And we are still evaluating the right numbers, but we are looking at anywhere between 30 to 50 final shortlists of ideas or teams that will go into the final hackathon, where we will be grooming them over those 2 days. But yes, there will be revised dates that will be announced on the website, hopefully by tomorrow. Please do check back tomorrow. Take your rest of your Sunday easy. But we'll be closely working with you guys, and tomorrow we'll get the dates updated, the key milestone dates, and definitely we will be sharing more and information through Samkit and Kaushik and the Incubate team, and we'll definitely work on that. The other question, what are we supposed to do on Hack Day if we already have a working prototype? It's a great question. We are looking forward to those. Definitely during that session, as I said, there will be sessions to really challenge, validate. So for me, 3 validations I would like to achieve which is very important for me from a market perspective. Obviously, it's a customer validation, market validation, and also investor validation. So that's something which during that period we will try and inject various sessions, and our mentors will review and evaluate as well. And even if you have a prototype or you're working on an alpha version, we'll be happy to evaluate that. Maybe you may not be required to be there right through the session, but again, we'll have to play it by the ear. So please, I would strongly encourage that you persevere, you're there. At least for the first couple of sessions are very important. It's kind of we are, especially on that Friday, we're looking at rethinking of the whole designing and delivering of the business model as well. So those things which I would say that is definitely important and going to be significant and impactful for any startups, whether it's an idea being fast-tracked for an alpha, or if you have already a working prototype as well. Definitely. And again, our view would be that we will have a fit-for-purpose sessions where ideas will be classified depending on the maturity as well, and they will be fast-tracked and accelerator depending on the stage and what the capabilities are being demonstrated. So definitely, yeah, you will have a very tailored experience during the hack day. One-on-one virtual pitching for the final hackathon. Definitely, that's something which we are looking at. You will have a few pitch sessions as well that we are looking at, and definitely, you will have a one-on-one virtual pitching option. But I'll definitely let Samkit and team respond back to you, and definitely we'll have that as an FAQ to be covered. The shortlisting for the first round will be done on the basis of presentations we have submitted. Yes, definitely, but also where we believe it's a great idea or great opportunity, and if it's we feel it's undercooked or you've not thought about certain opportunities, we'll be reaching out to you as well to really to see or explore any other pivoting options as well. Obviously, close alignment to those themes and those opportunities, how commercially viable it is, how commercially this opportunity can become a high growth venture or can be accelerated. All those things will come into the criteria of assessments. But definitely, yeah, presentations. If you have a video pitch as well, I would strongly recommend, because one of the things that we will definitely evaluate, especially for the final pitch session, is how great is the team as well. We believe in great founding teams. So that's definitely something we'll be looking for. So if you have a pitch video, please do share or post that or give us, post it on your YouTube or your channel and send us the link. We would be happy to look at that as well. So definitely do give your importance to your presentation. Question, can we get technical and business mentorship? Yes, both will be made available. Some of the mentors and our advisory team, in addition, there are quite a few in addition to the list that you have seen. They have a strong technical leadership, thought leadership across these areas, and also by sector. And of course, we've got some major business leaders and business coaches, people who also look at a commercial perspective, a sales distribution perspective as well. How do we really take it to market, but also help it grow, help it scale? All those things will be looked at as well, part of this mentorship. And again, as I said, even beyond this hackathon, we'll be looking at fast tracking and accelerating some of these ideas, and where you will have dedicated mentors and specialists or impact influencers, or whatever we call key opinion leaders, who will be really helping these startups our startup ideas to eventuate, commercialize, and accelerate. So definitely something which we will be looking at. We'll be happy to submit the completed app or first present our ideas. So again, this is a hackathon, an ideation hackathon, where you have a mature app or an idea or a product. Please do showcase, because then we will be looking at, you will be in a different stage as well, in a different bucket as to how we can accelerate. But we are also looking to have some great ideas as well. I would also like to see that you just don't present your idea, but definitely I would like to see an alpha version of the idea during those 2 days, even if it's a designed idea, not like a physical solution or a product or a software solution or an app, but if it is a designed idea which is got that user experience validation, that's commercial market access, all those validation. We just don't want to have a great idea and this is how you can do it. Well, all those next steps of validation, I would like to see that showcased, and also being presented. How do you see this eventuate? I mean, as from an idea. So I always, in my kind of role as a entrepreneurship wrangler or supporting the entrepreneurship, and even my lectures, guest lectures to various universities, I share. You look at your ideas. Not only it should have, it should be substantial, well differentiated with sustainable competitive advantage. So SCA is a key. Sustainable competitive advantage from your market perspective, but also at a global market perspective, for an Australian market perspective or a global market perspective. Make sure that your idea has got that SCA as the steroid or the enzyme or whatever, the catalyst that you have to make sure that it's a sustainable competitive advantage. Then you make sure that your idea has got legs. I mean, you can have a sustainable idea, but it needs to be practical or something which you can deliver an outcome. And then it's not just having legs. We want to have ideas which can be given wings as well, that it is globally scalable. It's not just for your region or your state. I mean, we've got some amazing ideas from tier 2, tier 3 cities, which naturally, which are globally applicable. So that's something which we are looking for as well. So yes, you can present your idea, but please do not restrict just with your idea. Do those kind of validations as well, so that we can evaluate and we can definitely give enough recognition for that. When will we get the name of our mentors? So it's a very large panel, and what we want to do is we've got mentors from a sector-specific perspective, but also at a various ecosystem impact level perspective. And then we've got both the technical leadership as well as business thought leadership mentors. And we will be evaluating, and at the time of finalizing the finalists for the final hackathon, we will be sharing some of those mentor sessions. Now, again, some of those sessions can be common. I mean, whilst it may be oriented towards a certain segment, like especially some technical leadership or design thinking, it's applicable to almost every sector, and it's tech agnostic as well. So I will encourage people to jump in on those sessions as well, so you get the best out of that session, and during the course of the hack days as well, great outcomes are provided. The question, I've submitted a mail on July 30. If I don't get shortlisted, can I apply once again? As I indicated, that July 30 will be extended, and you will have the option to resubmit your, and as I said, we will be notifying the dates, the updated dates tomorrow. I expect at least a week more extension on the submission of your registration and your ideas. Yeah, I would say if you want to update your registration with a resubmission, please feel free to do so. If you want to put an updated video pitch, please bring and introduce your team and have that also. So you have another week plus to come up with, and also there'll be further sessions as well next week as well as the week after before we close the final registration. So whilst I regret and also apologize for the inconvenience if you had planned, but we definitely wanted to do the right thing by giving opportunities to a lot more people and also our ecosystem partners across both Australia and India to be able to participate and actively interact and engage on this ReHack event, and also benefit and also deliver the right outcome. I have another. Can we get technical or business mentorships from Hackathon team for further stages? Yes, we will. So definitely during the hack days, you will have the support, and beyond them, the ones we shortlist, will continue to really work with them and help them not only commercialize, or if they're already commercial, have a market access growth program, and also help them being set up, launched as well. So there's different programs we have. We're also working on a Trestle exchange program with THub, and you will have opportunity to be fast-tracked as part of that program as well. So definitely technical business mentorship will continue beyond the hackathon as well, which is something we will definitely, honor the commitment. The question, sir, you're expecting an idea or working model for of idea. I mean, both, definitely just not pure idea, a validated, justified idea which needs to have sustainable competitive advantage. You should have done competitive landscape assessment. You should have done market assessment, the whole TAM, whatever it is, what is the addressable market globally, not only India, Australia, globally. You should have had some kind of a validation, or at least, some examples of validation that you could have done, either from a customer perspective, from a market perspective, and investor perspective. So definitely looking for those kind of ideas. Working model is great, so we can validate and help you accelerate. So depending on which stage you are, we will have a tailored approach to fast track your idea, and you will have a tailored experience during the hack day as well. What is video pitch? Essentially, your idea being pitched with you presenting, and also, if you have any slides or any things to demonstrate, you can do that on the video presentation for this idea submission. So whilst people may have submitted a soft copy, a Word document, or whatever format has been prescribed or submitted on the form with attachments, I think if you have any video pitches, or you are able to communicate that with the right tempo and impact and passion, we would like to see that, and we would like to see your teams as well. So if you have capability options, please record, put in your YouTube or Facebook, and then share that link with us. Or if it's acceptable, you can upload or share the link on the site as well. Do we need to present in the grand finale physically or virtually if we are selected? Everything is going to be virtual, fortunately or unfortunately. But I would say this is fortunate, because all of us have the luxury of being, able to get onto a session digitally, and definitely, attend. So this will be a virtual session, and you'll have various virtual sessions right through the hack day, and before this event as well, you will have a few more briefing and awareness sessions as well. What will be the next steps? So please persevere for another day. Take your Sunday easy, chill out. We acknowledge and thank you for your time and your interest. Check back on the website tomorrow. We would have advised on the revised dates. So if you already submitted, you're comfortable, stay tuned and just work on the ways you can improvise and improve your ideas. If you want to make a resubmission, you will have time There will be some time, at least a week plus, for your resubmission, and then also look out for the subsequent sessions from this session as well, where we'll bring some of our champions, industry impact creators to speak about some of these sectors, these themes, but also about what we are looking for and how do we look at some of the models and what we will be really trying to deliver and leverage from the session as well. So please stay tuned. So look back and tomorrow and sign back onto the website, which I'm sure Samkit and Kaushik can share, and you can take it from there.
So
shortlisted. Sorry.
Yeah, just want to add a few things. Like
yes, please.
After very well defined session by Irfan regarding the problem statements and all, so you can even modify or even change your problem statement from the dashboard itself. So now you have time and you can use that time to put your more detailing part on the idea. The first first point is to get your shortlisted from your PPT, or even you can put your any kind of a video link on that particular submission and all. Video link for the shortlisting is not like compulsory, but for even more briefing and well explained, you can put your videos on that particular link while the shortlisting. So as Irfan said, that tomorrow we will announce the new dates and all. And this way you will get all the checkpoints, all the detailing of the mentorship, how you will put your video, like you have to make your video for the final submission, and also every details we can put you on the dashboard itself. Yeah, it's fine.
Thank you for that, and please check out the website for those details, and feel free to reach out on WhatsApp, Samkit, or email Samkit and Kaushik on those specific details there. Our early stage startups adequate for this hackathon with just initial traction? The short answer is yes. And we'll be looking to see how we can accelerate and fast track. But make sure those validations, it doesn't matter your early stage or late stage, if you're not validated on those three things, customer, market, and investor, or at least have some kind of feelers, and you're not able to justify those validation, then obviously, you'll be challenged. So definitely, it doesn't matter if it is an early stage or a late stage. We will be looking to fast track, and depending on the impact and the outcome that can be created out of the idea. And if it's a late stage company already with some commercial traction, we'll be looking to launch them very much pretty quickly. And if they can pivot to deliver outcomes for these markets, we'll be looking to launch them as well. So definitely, doesn't matter if it's an early stage or later stage, as long as you've got some traction, you've got those validations there, and you have a sustainable competitive advantage. Make sure you've done the competitive landscape assessment, a global one. So I want you to look at, I've got this idea and this software solution. Look out for what else is there similar or close to it in Australia or any other region, in Israel or in Belarus or in UK or in the Bay Area, whatever it is. So at least you need to have, and it doesn't mean that you can't have a similar, but as long as you've got a sustainable competitive advantage, that's something we'll be looking for, and those validations. What will be the judging criteria? I've obviously shared those several times. Obviously, definitely, validation is critical. The sustainable competitive advantage, customer validation, market validation, and investor validation. With the view that we are interested to really identify those ideas which are aligned to these themes, but where we can not only have them to have legs, but also we can give them wings to be globally scalable. So we are interested in globally scalable ideas only, period. So that's definitely a sieve you want to look at, when you evaluate yourself and your idea, that can I implement this globally, and it's got some greater market growth. What we are doing is validation in these markets. helping us grow, but we really want to help these ideas to be scalable. And I think that gives insights on the judging criteria. And of course, we will also have different buckets for the stages as well. And yeah, definitely we will have idea stage, companies or teams, but also mature post MVP with market commercial ready ideas as well. We'll look at both, and there'll be different buckets that we'll be looking at. So if it's an app, should it be created? So I'm not expecting apps to be created within 2 days. You wouldn't probably do justice technically, but definitely I want to see those core human-centered design principles to be incorporated. If you can have at least few design iterations shown in alpha version of the app mock, or you can have the mocking bot version of the app as well that you can demonstrate. A design iteration, if you can show, that will be something we'll look at. Obviously, we want to see that that an idea it actually develops into something tangible, and we want to see some kind of a demonstratable model. But again, we will not be restrictive. We understand we are constrained by what we are going through and what we have challenged. But again, yeah, definitely, if you have some thing to demonstrate, we will give definite consideration for that. I think I've answered. There's been similar questions about app oriented should be created. Not necessarily, but if you have an alpha version of it, mocked up version of it, then that'll suffice as well. Can you put some light on the prizes and incubation opportunities? I think definitely we have shared that on our website. The aim here, of course, there's cash prize as a token recognition, but there's also a lot of credits, a lot of support from our ecosystems that we'll have. We will also, as I said, some of the selected startup ideas would be fast-tracked, accelerated through a pre-accelerator program, and also the exchange program I was talking about. We are curating with our ecosystem partners, THub and Untitled Innovation Mission, Kerala Startup Mission, KTech, all of them as well, and our partners, NASCOM, Center of Excellences, and various other groups as well. We'll definitely be fast-tracking. There'll be incubation, pre-acceleration, accelerator opportunity, but also there will be investment raise opportunity. There'll be also market access program opportunity. All these things we'll do. And some of the mature startups or commercially viable, adoptable or adaptable to Australian market startups, we will launch them into Australia as well as part of our program, post-program outcomes that we are working on. Once I create a prototype and test in the market, can we contact you to get mentored? What's the procedure? Yes, definitely. Depending on, again, those validations, we will be happy to work with you. Our ecosystem team has got strong presence in India, and our mentors and our ecosystem partners will work with you. And again, depending on the stage, we will be having a tailored, very aligned mentorship program and help you accelerate as well. So that definitely yes, the answer is yes. Can we share our video pitch by sending the YouTube on the email? Yes, and also on the form that you are submitting or resubmitting, you can, I'm sure you can put the YouTube link as well as indicated by Samkit. Question, so we have a plan for a viable business and a prototype. Do we need to register as a startup or a company as well, or those can be done later? I mean, you can do that as well, definitely. And yeah, even if you have a team that you're just forming, you can do that later as well. But if you have a team with a startup company, I don't see a reason why not. So please do register. And if you have got a viable model and you've done those validation, I encourage you to register. How to do effective competitive analysis and market potential? Obviously, constrained by what is happening. Definitely, online digital research is what we are looking at, and I'm sure there are a lot of reports as well. There are a lot of, and if you're looking in Australian market, do check out Austrade, which is Australian Trade and Investment website. They have a lot of resources. And also there are a lot of resources around, some of the ecosystem partners as well that we've shared. A lot of video resources that's available. But I'm sure if you're in that industry and if you're actively following through, you'll be able to do quick research on what the landscape is. Again, I'm not saying that you can't have a similar idea as another one, but obviously it's about how you find a sustainable competitive advantage. That point of difference, which is going to be, a game changer for the markets that we are looking for. So definitely, I don't want to be prescriptive here, but yeah, definitely there are digital channels that you can leverage from for this competitive analysis. And of course, you do your best, and then we'll also do our best to validate that through our network. What are the shortlisting criteria? I've already gone through all those validations and sustainable competitive advantage and point of difference, which will be what we'll be looking at. MedTech also involves a way or product which makes human life easier. Example, we consider COVID situation connecting our doctor. So can we work on such issues, or we need to stick to medical supply theme? I'm open for these. I want to look for some of these ideas as well. It could be completely, left flank thinking, or it could be completely, maverick thinking, completely outside the box thinking. I encourage that. I really want to look for those. Of course, again, you got to put yourself in that save that, yes, that can have legs and that can be given wings. It needs to have sustainable competitive advantage. It needs to have client validation, market validation, and investor validation. We need high growth ventures. We don't want your ideas to be stuck as ideas. We want to really help you commercialize, help you scale, help you have the market access, sales, distribution, investment raise. All this needs to happen. So we need those ideas. So yeah, definitely open as long as there is a market opportunity. Yes, if you're just solving a small market opportunity, then you're restricting yourself. So just be cognizant of that. And yeah, we're happy to definitely evaluate and support your valuation as well. Sir, our innovation design depends on service-based. Do we have any rules? Hackathon is only for product-based? No, we are open for service-based. In fact, open source services and any other solutions as well, we are open for that, as long as you're able to demonstrate the value creation, the impact creation, the market that's going to adopt this, the number of customers, or the commercial model is viable as well. As long as you can demonstrate that, yes, we will take on board service-based innovation design as well. If it's an app, can we get suggestion and help from THub members, Atal and NASCOM? Yes, definitely. As part of this program, if you're shortlisted and the opportunity is very aligned, we will definitely provide that support. What elements should we keep in mind in order to put forward the market validation? Obviously, if you have a sustainable competitive advantage, obviously you start with a good positioning. The market validation, obviously you need to look at the total market size and what is the addressable market size as well. And then we need to look at what our typical consumption models, either whether it's B2B or B2C, depending on what the opportunity is, how this is going to benefit. For example, we had a startup looking at post knee op surgery, a very highly effective intelligent AI driven device. But we were looking at what is the market size in India, what kind of challenges people go through, and how the market is segmented. And then based on that, you work out if we have a 5% or 1% of the market, or 5% of the market, or 10% of the market, what would the number stack up like? So those kinds of, again, as I said, Australia is the first market off the cab of the rank, I suppose, the first cab of the rank, but as a market. But again, there will be other markets, Middle East or Europe or rest of ASEAN will be looking at, and the North Americas and stuff. So definitely, you can look at a global market, but again, you can stage it with Australia or India as the first stage, and then take it from there. I'll just switch over to the chat. There have been some questions here quickly. WhatsApp number, I think it's going to be provided on the website. Please reach out to Samkit and Kaushik. Where can we find the recording of this webinar? It'll be available not only on the InQ Innovation Facebook, but also it'll be available on the Incubate, and we will have the link from the website as well. So you will have access to this video webinar and all the subsequent webinars and the panels that we will have in the lead up next 2 weeks. We'll have that available, linked through our website and also on the Facebook pages. Where can I find the recording? Yes, can we get it? Yes, I've answered that. Can we have more than 4 team members? Technically, whilst we have been prescriptive of 1 to 4 members, but if you have a team and a great team, I'm not going to be restrictive. We don't want to be prescriptive too much. That 1 to 4 is a guideline. That's what our thinking is, especially for an early stage idea. But if you have a startup and glowing setup, I do understand. We will be open to have more members as well. What does this series mean for those startups in those countries not within India and Australia? As I indicated, Australia and India are the 2 markets and ecosystems who are working closely, part of the bridge. We invite ideas from all over the world. In fact, we've got ideas from Middle East, from Europe, from ASEAN countries, other countries as well. Obviously, definitely, we want to make sure that those ideas are valid for Indian market as well as the Australian market, ideally, and of course, then the global market. So please do. I encourage strongly to be part of this program, and we will definitely. We are not restricting ideas by only qualification by country. We're very open. We believe startup innovation as an open innovation ecosystem, and that's something which underpins InQ and my own thinking and my passion. And startups for good, for a purpose, is applicable globally for the whole humanity. So I'm a strong believer, and we will make sure that is encouraged part of this hackathon as well. We will never be restrictive of the startup ideas to be limited to these countries because we definitely want to encourage. But having said that, I would like to, for the purposes of the bridge, I want that alignment of markets, definitely making sure those ideas or those solutions aligned to those themes are relevant for these countries, and I'm sure they are. COVID is a global phenomenon, and the challenges that I've just explained earlier, the themes are global anyway. But we just want to make sure, and of course, looking at a market like India, you're just gonna really magnify your opportunity. So definitely. As long as they are valid for India and Australia, we'll take that on board. What will be the timeline to develop the MVP? Well, it'll be again, I don't want to be prescriptive. It'll be a case-by-case evaluation. Now, as I indicated, the hack days are not meant to be your MVP development thing. It's obviously for you to enhance your thinking, iterate your thinking, iterate your solution alignment, iterate your fit for purpose ness of your idea for those aligned to those themes and the markets, and helping you validate all those criteria I mentioned as well. Obviously, if you have an MVP, if we look at pivoting or iteration, we can look at that. But if you have a great idea which goes through the selection and final selection during the hack event as well, and if we believe strongly, then we will support. And I don't believe in restricting any time frames. It's again going to be what is fit for purpose for the market need, and that's what it'll be a driver for us to consider for developing. So if it is a month from there, 2 months, whatever it is, and what kind of a resource, skills, and support that you need, we will again and mentor and mobilize that for you. What is the shortlisting criteria? I've gone through that many times. Repeating question, now repeating, okay. If it's an app, can we get suggestions, help from the team? THub, yes, definitely. We can take more questions offline if you want. Yes, that's some kid, thank you for that. Can we get support and suggestions to make an app before shortlisted? It would be great to have the suggestions to make an app more effective to submit in hackathon. Now, as I said, the solution of the app is not what is very essential. Is again your idea and what you're trying to solve, and its alignment to theme, and that it has got a sustainable competitive advantage. It's got great market possibility, and then potential to have good clients and B2B, B2C, whatever it is, or B2B to C, all those things. That's what we're looking for. We're not looking for all great app on the first go. Obviously, we will be looking for, once we shortlist, we'll be looking for design iterations and different human-centered designing principles and practices and business models to be incorporated. So I don't know whether we can provide one-on-one support, but definitely stay tuned for some of the sessions being planned over the next 2 weeks. I'm sure you will gain a lot from those as well. And we've got some amazing people from Australia as well, who are very much design oriented. And I definitely want to acknowledge that Australia has got so much of focus on user experience, human-centered design, and some great design companies. There's a lot to leverage for all of us. So that's something which we want to definitely enable as well. There are a lot of Aussie companies who've got great design, but they're looking for manufacturing partners in India as well, and startups to work. So there's a lot of synergies there, to leverage here. There's a repeat there. What are the parameters of judgment? I've gone through that. Again, we'll have to look at the stages by stage, depending on those validation and the sustainable competitive advantage. We want to make sure that we can help you fast track. We want to bring high growth ventures out of this hackathon and startups for purpose aligned to those themes that I spoke about. So definitely, and again, having those validation. One more thing I want to leave, and for the people who missed, please do share, or I hope they connect. One of the things I will be definitely looking for, and there's something, my journey as a startup investor and an entrepreneur myself, and an advocate for entrepreneurship and intrapreneurship over the last 5 to 7 years, coming from a technology background for 20 plus years. I want to definitely reinforce that all these ideas and startups, startup idea solutions should be for a purpose as well. So I'm a strong believer of startups for purpose. And please, all of you, this is one request I would have, is to look at UN SDG goals. There are 17 amazing UN SDG goals. And if you can articulate that you are aligned to those UN SDG goals, or you're trying to address some of those UN SDG goals, they are gold. I mean, I definitely, because we are doing this for humanity as well. So definitely aligning to UN SDG goals will be a positive criteria that we will take on board. So definitely I wanted to reinforce that. Please note, and we will again share that on our website as well. Alignment, I mean, it's not a mandatory criteria, but a preferred criteria, that if you have a startup or idea for a purpose and aligned to those UN SDG goals, 1 or 2 or many, whatever it is, that will be definitely considered favorably. More questions. I think more coming. Thank you. Yeah, thanks. Appreciate your feedback. I'm pleased that you've got the clarity. Can we get any contacting process other than mails like Instagram, Facebook to contact with this hackathon? There is a WhatsApp message, and we can obviously create a group as well if it's required. But please do contact Samkit and Kaushik on email, as well as WhatsApp numbers being provided on the website. can the number of members team to be increased to 6? Yes, I said 1 to 4 is a guideline. But yeah, if you have a larger team, very well entrenched, great team, we love that. So please don't feel that you're restricted there. What are the parameters for judgment? I've explained it many times, though I don't want to put a scale. It's going to be on a case by case, but definitely a broader parameters are sustainable competitive advantage. Those 3 validations: customer, market, investor validation, and depending on the stage, how we can fast track. And of course, as I indicated, a preferential consideration for UN SDG goals alignment and startup for purposes. All right, we are already overboard. I think, yeah, we've taken an hour and a half here, but I'm pleased that we are able to connect, and please stay tuned. We believe in you all. We believe in the startup and innovation ecosystem. I live and breathe. That's my passion, and I believe in Indian startup ecosystem. I believe in Australian startup ecosystem and the global startup ecosystem to come and deliver on those challenges that we have experienced, so we can be prepared, preempt, prevent, and also deal with that in more effective ways for the humanity. We were definitely challenged. I mean, states were vying with each other, countries were vying or still are, and the whole market has been given a bit of a shake, jolt, and a lot of resets have happened. So it's a great time for us to take a step back, get some of those great ideas. We encourage diversity, equality, and I'm not just talking about gender, age, or cross-sectional. I want to invite everyone, and I'm a believer in everyone to have some great ideas, but again, bringing together to shape something which is tangible, something which has got legs, and something which can be given wings to make it scalable. Of course, I'm not saying that we'll get unicorns out of it, this exercise all, but hopefully we'll have a few down the line, and we want to be proud of that legacy that we have all together contributed and shaped, but most importantly, that we give it a fair go, we give it a good go, and as in our Australian terms, we use we give it a fair go, and that's what life is all about. And I think these the last 3-4 months, everyone has learned quite a few things, both professionally and individually, and on all fronts. So definitely, there's a lot to contribute as we look at the humanity, and again, I want to look at every individual team member of you, that you just don't belong to your country. You're all global citizens. All of us are global citizens. And we want to think about the humanity and solutions that really, create that impact. And hence, I also touched on the UN SDG goals as well. All right, thank you. And please reach out to me on LinkedIn. I'm not bad. Definitely, I do respond to the messages. But yeah, I would be happy to reconnect, and please stay tuned for our webinar series. Please check out our webinars online on Innovation YouTube channel, and there'll be a lot more that you will hear through our ecosystem partners as well. Thank you, namaskar, salams, and good evening, and good night to a lot of people here in Australia as well. It's about 9 p.m. on Sunday. Enjoy your rest of Sunday, and look forward to connecting, and a great experience for all of us. Whatever we get out of it, I'm sure you will have some positive, and at least positive connects, and it's all about what positives you get out of whatever level it could be, and it helps your journey as a professional and as an entrepreneur, and a startup visionary, whatever it is. I really commend you taking your time. Thank you for your time, and thanks to all our partners, Incubate in the team, Samkit, Kaushik, Rohit, Philippe, and the team, and also all other ecosystem partners who are helping us shape our Gov partners, Atal Innovation Mission, THub, our ecosystem partner, main ecosystem partner based out of Hyderabad, the team there, all of you, shout out to all of you. And also want to note that we pray and seek blessings, and also we'll stick it together as we deal with this COVID challenge globally. And we are all for all the healthcare workers, frontline workers, all the people who are impacted. Our thoughts and prayers are for you all, and also hoping to create an impact for us globally. Thank you and good night. Speak soon. Bye.